Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by two of the brightest minds in the DFS industry. That is Josh Crash Davis and Miss Deb Lutz. And we are here to discuss the NBA Finals Game 6. It is the Golden State Warriors trying to close it out at Boston. The game is Thursday, the June 16th. And we are going to go through it, look at a little bit of the last game, and discuss what we see going forward. So, how are you both doing today? Crash, you having a good morning?
Yeah, doing well. Gonna enjoy this day off from baseball and trust your podcast and lineups, and hopefully we can crush it. And gonna focus on NBA for now. So
excellent. Deb, how are things out west?
Yeah, well, it dipped below 110 today, so feeling pretty good.
Wow,
wow,
cool. Dip below 110. That's
go out and play golf.
What's that? If you play golf out here, you have to play at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I know that from Texas. It was the same thing. So believe me, I know that. I mean, I'm loving this up in PA now. It's like 70.
Right.
Perfect.
Beautiful time of year. Yeah. Just wait till late July when it's like 96% humidity.
Yeah. Or wait till January when there's 3 feet of snow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We flip-flopped there, Coach. Just as I left Pennsylvania, you came.
I know it. Well, we're excited for this game, man. It has been a terrific series, topsy-turvy, all over the place. Good games, bad games as far as these teams playing. But now, we're down to, crunch time. Game 6, 3-2 Golden State. It's at Boston. And, man, I'll tell you what, this should be a fantastic game. We've got, like we've had the whole series, the home team favored by 4 again. And the over-under is 210. So that's one thing that's been extremely consistent throughout. And as of right now, neither team is listing anybody as out. It's certainly all hands on deck when you get to this type of a closeout situation. So we'll follow the news here at Coach Talk. If anything changes, if there's any lineup changes for the starters, I think they'll probably be the same as the last game. If there's anybody out, we'll report it through our Twitter account, which is at DFS Coach Talk. And if you want to reach any of us on Twitter, I'm at Joe Sarvati. Crash, let them know where you're at.
At JP Davis 1982.
And Deb?
At Deb Lutz 33.
Good. And we'll be chit-chatting in there with, everybody, especially non-members. But for members, we'll be in Discord throughout, also following that news. And if you want to become a member, you'll get instant access to Discord and everything that we provide: basketball, baseball, golf, NASCAR, MMA, you name it. We are there. Fired up for the U.S. Open tomorrow, so we'll be covering that a lot here at Coach Talk. You can join us by going to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up even for as little as a 3-day pass for $10. All right, we're going to dive into this game. We've had Deb really scouring Boston and Crash with Golden State. And we're going to continue to do that throughout, as we've done throughout this. And we've both been predicting the winners of these games well. And I happen to pick Golden State by 10, just for the record, and they won by 10. So I wish I would have played a prop bet like that. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the extra for doing that. But we'll make our picks, both prize picks and picks for the game at the end. So let's talk first about Golden State today. We'll have Crash chime in. One thing, and I had to save this to tease Crash pretty well here, is he was all over Mr. Curry calling out a 50-point game, and he quadruple jinxed him into 0 threes. How could you do that to the poor man? He's a nice man.
Yeah.
So before you say anything, Crash, I got a text from the Curry family they ask that you not predict any high point scores. So I'll let you address it, but the reason why that happened is Boston decided, you know what, we're going to face guard him and we're not going to help from his guy and we're going to make somebody else beat us. Well, guess what? They did. So do you think they go back to that strategy again with Curry? What are you thinking, Crash?
I don't think it's going to matter, honestly. I think Curry is going to have a big game, and I know I said that in the last podcast, and I know you think it jinxed him, but I'm going to prove that it wasn't a jinx, and he's going to go off in Game 6.
All right. That's actually called a double reverse jinx. So now you're good. I agree with you. I'll say this. Two things. One, they did face guard him, and I'll give him that. And that makes it tougher on him. I just don't think they're going to go back to that completely because it leaves too much open for Clay. And he's the self-proclaimed god of Game 6. And this is a Game 6.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be shooting with confidence. And it just let everybody else, Wiggins and even Draymond, open for dunks. So I don't think they face guard him. I think they're going to say, well, let's hope he's off a little bit. And maybe it goes from there. So I agree with you. This is the first time that I am 100% Team Curry in the entire series. He's going to be my captain across the board. And in fact, I'll give away my hand later, but I think he's going to lead him to closing this out. I think it's Curry time. I think they'll try to defend everybody else a little bit. And it's not like even with that face guarding defense that he didn't get any shots up. I mean, he still got some shots up. And again, they were more, pressed than normal, but I think that he's going to see more of those. He was 7 for 22. It's just happened to be 0 for 9 from 3. And, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. He's definitely got to be a little steamed about that performance because he knows he could have done better. So I'm with you, Crash. I'm 100%. I think Curry is the best play in this, and I'm not going to shy from him at all. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Curry, Deb?
I was struggling with this one because I do think Curry's going to come back and have a good game. There's no way after the, game he had. I mean, what was it? He had a streak of threes in over 160 straight playoff performances. And to break that, that's some record.
It was incredible.
But that being said, Boston's it's do or die, right? And so you can't play Tatum and Curry. Yeah. So, and Tatum's got a nice, well-rounded game, and I got to believe he's going to put everything out there. And so, Kurt's actually priced a little higher than Tatum.
Yeah.
And I think, Boston has the number 1 defense. They got to come bring it. And, maybe, just maybe Tatum ekes out Curry by a little bit in fantasy points.
And let me give you those prices. If you're going to play Curry at the captain on DraftKings, it'll cost you $17.4. Tatum is $16.8. And then, of course, on Fanduel and Yahoo, you're not penalized for that spot. But Curry is 16, Tatum 15.5. And on Yahoo, Tatum 40, Curry 39. So really, you do pay that extra $600 on DraftKings, but man, that is going to be the call I think that everybody has to make. Yeah. Is and I do believe now. You tell me if I'm wrong. I do think those are the 2 guys that you have to look at as captains, though. Is there anybody else you have in play?
Maybe for salary wise to try and fit more guys in. You could possibly look at somebody else as a captain. I kind of like Al Horford in this game. I think that he's going to be somebody that he hasn't had as big a game as he had, in the previous series. And I think that he could be in a situation where, he knows his time is coming to an end and he's going to feel that desperation and that urgency. And I think this could be a game where he has a really big impact.
Yeah. How about you, captain-wise? You looking at anybody else other than the 2 big boys?
Yeah, well, it is game 6. So
Curry
I'm looking at Clay.
Clay time. Yeah.
I mean, is it Clay time? And again, if they are going to defend Curry pretty tough and leave Clay a bit open, I mean, he did hit 5 threes last game, so he's starting to heat up. And he's relatively really cheap to the other big guys, and he does enable me to get somebody like Brown in there as well, in addition to a Tatum or a Curry. So
yeah, no,
I'm going to check that out.
Clay's going to come into this, with tons of confidence. I mean, he's been waiting for game 6. So, whether that backfires or not, I don't think it does. I think a guy with his type of confidence, I think he'll rise to the occasion. So I agree with both of you, actually. I like how Horford is really my favorite Celtic here. So it's bizarre, but I just think his experience and his one opportunity at this, I just think he raises his game. And so I agree completely there. And I think if I didn't go with either one of the main guys in Curry or Tatum, Thompson would be my next pick. So we are on the same page as far as that goes. But I'll throw the Golden State over to you, Crash, here in a second. Let's look at their box scores real quickly from that last game and see, where things were. Obviously, Wiggins, phenomenal game again. We made fun of 16 rebounds. So how about 13? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, he did follow it up, man. And he had more shots than any other Golden State Warrior with 23. He was 12 for 23, those big 13 rebounds. Again, playing the most minutes by far, 42 and a half. Yeah. So I'll have you comment on him. Draymond only got 6 shots up, but a little bit better on the ancillaries with 7 rebounds, 6 assists in 35 minutes. Clay played 40. Curry played 37. They took 26 shots combined. And then after that, it was really not much. Poole only took 8 shots, 0 ancillary stats for him at all. And we warned about that he has a tendency to be a scorer only. So, I guess, Crash, as I turn it over to you, Porter was just a flash. I would assume Gary Payton is the cheap guy of this group just based on his 26 minutes. How do you see it panning out in game 6 for the Warriors?
I have to think that there's going to be a little bit of regression from Wiggins after 2 really strong games in a row. I'm kind of leaning away from him at this point, just so I can go to Steph and Clay. And as far as the bigs go, I would rather go, I think, with either Robert Williams or Al Horford is where I'm leaning at this point. Kevon Looney's kind of been taken out of the series the last couple games, and Draymond, I just like Horford is priced similar to him, and I just like him, a little bit more. So,
any love for Payton off the bench?
I do like Payton off the bench. Yes. Sorry, I forgot to say that. But Payton is my favorite value play for Golden State. He got a series high 26 minutes in games 5. Yeah. And, he got like 30 or almost 30 fantasy points, I think. So, I do like Gary Payton the second in this matchup as a value play for Golden State for sure.
Yeah, and I was surprised Poole only played 14 minutes. That was a shocker there. That was the one thing that changes. Does that take him out of the mix for you?
Well, when Poole's out there, I mean, they mentioned it multiple times in the broadcast. They're just going after him defensively. So I think that's why they're getting Payton the minutes. So I think that'll continue. I don't think that I don't know how much of an impact Poole will have in this game. So
right. And you're right. I mean, you go from a poor defender in Poole to a plus defender in Payton. So I can see why they made that move. But, Poole's explosive, so you never know when he can jump in there and get it done.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to the Boston side, and I'll buzz these stats real quick, and then you can break it down for us, Deb. But Tatum, 10 for 20, 5 threes, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. That's the kind of, Tatum game we would expect. The other shots, Brown 18, Smart did get 15 up again. They both scored. no shots for the bigs much. Again, 3 for 6 for Horford, 4 for 5 for Williams. So they continue to be effective. They combined for 17 rebounds. So they are making an impact. They're just not going to them very much. And then it was certainly a monster dud game from Derek White. I think it was one of you or both of you said Derek White, big regression game, and he was 0 for 4 in 21 minutes. So he has been all up and down. I think that was you, Crash, if I'm not.
No, actually, I think it was Deb that said
Was
that.
it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to steal Deb's thunder. Great call on that one, because I put White in as my 5th guy, and he sunk my ship. So, and we talked about it. You can't have your last guy in sink the ship like that. And so I guess, Deb, as I'll turn it to you. You got your main guys, Tatum, Horford, Brown, and Smart. They're going to get the majority of the minutes. But Robert Williams with 30 minutes again.
Yeah.
So that's back-to-back games. They're letting the dude play finally. And really, after those 5, I mean, is there anybody playable, or is it just those 5?
It's just those 5. I mean, I'm still off the White train. I just think, I saw the trends coming. He played great this series before, but I think Golden State's a different beast with the defense. They're relying more on the core guys. So I don't have a lineup where I go beyond the core 5 as I'm playing around with things. I think, again, Boston has to lay it all out on the line. And I think that Tatum and Brown are going to take like 75% of the shots again. And the ball's going to be in their hands a lot. I expect a better game from Brown. I think he was 5 of 18. He was not able to hit any of his outside shots, and they're clogging up the middle enough that he's just not quite getting easy shots off on his kind of typical drives. So, but I think they're going to figure that out a little bit. And I think he's going to bounce back and have a better game. The ancillaries are fantastic for Tatum and Brown. Yeah. So I think they're going to contribute a lot of fantasy points in that regard. And I am cautiously optimistic about Horford. I think they need to get him a little bit more involved in the offense. And I think that's a big win if they can. So I do like him. I actually like Robert Williams slightly better, minute for minute. He didn't give any stocks the last game, played 30 minutes, no blocks, whereas he had, I think, 5 or 6 stocks the game before. Right. So I expect, that to regress back to the mean a little bit, and he'll get a couple of those blocks in there. And so I slightly favor Williams over Horford, but I'm also contemplating playing them both.
Yeah, and just for salary purposes, for a utility player, Robert Williams is 6,800 on DraftKings. Horford is 66. So believe it or not, Williams has surpassed him there price-wise. But on FanDuel, Robert Williams 12, Horford 10. So he's passed him by 2K there. And on Yahoo, you've got Horford at 24, Robert Williams only at 21. So again, if you're playing the different sites, you have to look at the different prices, because it does shift. So my question is this to both of you guys, because I agree with everything you're saying, but my only concern from a realistic standpoint, and not to put you on the spot because I'm putting myself on the spot as well, where's the value? How are we going to play these Tatums and Currys and all these guys when we're not going to anybody off the Boston bench? And the only guy that we showed some attention to was Gary Payton II, who's probably going to be fairly chalky this time. But he's in a utility spot. He's 4,200 on DraftKings. He is down at 7,500 on FanDuel, and he is only $11 on Yahoo. So I bring it up because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't have anybody else from a standpoint of value that I like, and I want your guys' input. First of all, is Peyton a plug and play? He is for me just out of necessity. But what else? Crash, what do you think?
What was the question again? Sorry. So it was whether to go to Peyton or...
Well, do you have any other value? Are there any other value options other than Peyton?
I mean, I would think at some point, because he was such a big factor in the playoffs prior to this series, at some point Peyton Pritchard is going to make an impact again. We haven't really seen that, but especially if Derek White struggles again, I think that should come into play. But outside of that, I don't really know that there is that much for value for Boston.
Yeah, that would be a flyer, and it would be a good one if he gets the minutes, but it is hard. How about you, Deb?
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, in a game 6, I think the benches are extremely short. I think guys are going to play, particularly if Boston's losing and they're fighting for their lives, guys are going to play 40 plus minutes. So I don't see, I can't figure out any value other than Peyton.
I agree with you.
I think he's the one guy you absolutely, need because you can't make it work otherwise. And then, like I said, I mean, you can't take both Curry and Tatum. You got to fade one.
Yeah. And, the more as we're talking this out, in a perfect world, I personally think Curry's going to have a big game and I'd love to play him a captain, but you're not going to be able to do that and, fill it in with the guys that we're recommending. So really the play may be you really take a shot and play Peyton at captain, or you play a Robert Williams or a Horford, somehow that you can fit the rest of these guys in there. Because, again, in this showdown world that we're in, I had great picks across the board, but Derek White was my last guy in, and you're out of the money. Just like that. Boom, you're out.
Yeah.
So, not being if you don't want to really hope, you're spinning the wheel of fortune and you get some ungodly performance by Peyton Pritchard or one of these, Otto Porters or something out of this world.
Yeah.
It really comes down to that. So this is going to be a tricky one, I think, because just like what Deb alluded to, the benches that were short are even shorter, and those main guys are going to play the minutes, and trying to get them in a salary-based situation is not easy. So
yeah, because the other thing is, prices have gone up. So
exactly.
You were able to previously, fit both Tatum and Curry in being creative. And now it's impossible.
It is, because Robert Williams is gone way, way up. He was one of the cheap guys you could get, and it just, it's going to be a tough call for sure. But if it started right now, and again, we've got plenty of time before this final kickoff, but we're here to for hot takes. So if you had to put your lineup in and push the button right now, you get a free entry in a $5 million contest, but you have to make the lineup. Who is your captain? You only get one pick. Who's your captain right now? And again, we're not in a fantasy land like, okay, let's take Tatum, Curry, Draymond, Clay, and Williams.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen. What do you think, Crash? Pressure's on.
So for DraftKings is what we're talking about here.
DraftKings, because that's where you're penalized the money.
Yeah. I'd probably go with what Deb said. I'm probably going to go with Clay as my captain on DraftKings.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Is that where you're going too, Deb?
That's where I'm going.
Clay Thompson.
Game 6.
All right, you ready for mine?
Yeah.
Robert Williams III.
Oh, I was gonna guess, and I was gonna say Robert Williams.
I've been saying the whole time, if you tell me he's going to get 30 minutes, I'm going to play him a captain. Well, I wasn't sure he'd get it, and he did 2 games in a row now. So I know he's not dirt cheap by any stretch, but at least it gives you a fighting chance with the rest of the lineup. So
right.
Yeah. I think actually Williams and Thompson, you can switch them both and they afford you kind of the same lineup if you want to do it. You can flip those two and you can actually get the same guys in, but you still need Peyton. What I've been looking at, is there a lineup you can do where you don't need Peyton?
I don't think you can.
Because even Peyton, we're all looking at him like, hey, he's our guy off the bench, but
he could burn us in a heartbeat here.
Right.
You mean he and Poole could flip-flop again, or anything could happen, and there's no doubt. But I mean, unless you do something like Crash said and take a flyer on like a Peyton Pritchard or something, or you think Derek White's going to bounce back. I mean, there are possibilities there, but man, there's nothing that you can feel real comfortable with.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to prize picks. How does that sound?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Why don't we give 2 prize picks each? And remember, we will release some more prize picks plays for our members. So come and join us, dfscoachtalk.com. You can join us there. And what we do is we give out a core build on DraftKings, full lineups on Yahoo and Fanduel. So you'll get all of this figuring that we're doing right now. We have to put it to reality and lay it out there for our members. So it makes us a little bit different. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, we really, really appreciate if you take a second, and it only takes a second, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and click the little alert in the upper corner. That lets you know when any of our podcasts post. And it's great on a day like today when we premiered an MLB podcast, a PGA, which is the US Open that starts right away here, and then our NBA podcast as well. All right, prize picks. Deb, who is your first winner on prize
my
pick?
number one. Let's see what we got here. I'm going back to Clay, Mr. Game 6 with over 19.5 points.
I like it. Crash.
I'm going to go with Steph Curry over 4.5 3-pointers made. I think he's going to bounce back in a big way. I think he could get over 4.5. So 5. It would be 5 in the first half. So
I agree with the Steph call. Like I said earlier, I like him all over the place. So I'll bank on that one with you. And I'm going to go Steph Curry over 40.5 PRA. Big number, but he's got the ball in his hands. If they do blitz him, he's going to get more assists, easy ones to guys like Looney and Draymond. So I like 40.5 PRA over Curry.
Nice.
Miss Deb, who is your second choice?
My second choice is over 34.5 PRA for Mr. Jaylen Brown. I think he bounces back as well. I think he gives us 24 plus points tonight, and then can easily hit the 10 rebounds and assists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely like that too. I mean, I'll tell you what, I cannot believe how well his ancillary numbers have been throughout this entire finals, because he usually doesn't rebound and get assists and everything like he has been, but man, has he turned it up a notch.
He's fired up. Yeah, he's a good player. He's so underrated because of Tatum there.
Yeah,
he could be the alpha on any other team.
Right.
Yeah. Except the Mavs and Luka.
Or the Bucks.
Or the Bucks and
Giannis
would give the ball to him.
On quite a few teams, he could definitely be the alpha.
No doubt.
Go ahead. What do you say, Coach?
You got your second one. Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to go with Boston over 1.5 3-pointers made in the first 6 minutes. I think we've seen that happen many times.
Yeah.
Maybe even every time they've played in the playoffs, that they come out hot, at home and shoot a couple threes, make a couple threes, get the crowd excited. And so I can definitely see that happening in a game 6 where they have to win.
I like that one too.
I do too. You both have been killing those first 6-minute props, and I never seem to do them, and they seem very winnable.
It didn't hit free throws.
The free throws didn't hit last game, right?
Yeah, they didn't get to the free throw line at all in the first 6 minutes, which was pretty crazy for NBA Finals.
Maybe it'd go back to that one too.
Yeah, that's definitely in play. Yeah.
My second pick was Deb's first pick. I agree. Klay Thompson, when you're a shooter, a lot of it is mental. And when you come in, like he's going to come into this game with that closeout mentality, self-proclaimed game 6, he shows the 6 fingers. And so 19.5 real points. I mean, I'd be shocked if he doesn't score 20. And I think he's going to get up a lot of shots too. Mm-hmm. And if they do blitz Curry a little bit, they may split between doing that and fronting him some. Clay should be the guy that's going to get more looks.
Yeah. I do have a third. I do
yep.
have a third. You know, I always
we'll do a third. We can do a third.
Okay.
And you're gonna love it. It's back. Jason Tatum over 3.5 turnovers. He did it again last time. I couldn't play it, but he had 4 last game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's been a tremendous win rate for that. So I love it. I'll be back on it with you.
I'm with you.
Crash?
I'm going to go with the other side of this, and it's Golden State over 2 3-pointers made in the first 6 minutes. So I can definitely see that happening too. I could see Steph and Clay getting there very early in this game. So over 2 seems pretty good to me.
That seems like a very fair number. I'm going to finish up with Al Horford over 9.5 points. So season on the line, veteran, his one chance to win it. If he doesn't score double digits in this game, I would be shocked. So I think over 9.5 is super fair for him going into this one. All right, let's finish up with our game predictions and see where we're at, because what our series predictions, we might as well review them because this is our first closeout situation. Right. I know I had taken Golden State in 5, so now I've shifted to Golden State in 6, so I still feel pretty good about that. Crash, what was your
Golden
series?
State in 7?
So. Okay, so are you sticking with that?
Yeah, I feel like I have to. That was my original prediction. You know, it's hard for me to imagine that Boston will lose 2 in a row after not losing, or 3 in a row. Excuse me,
after not losing back-to-back since
not
March.
not losing back-to-back games since March, that they would lose 3 in a row. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So, I think that Boston wins this game. 108 to 104.
Okay. Deb, is this closeout or are we going 7?
Yeah, so I was originally my heart was Boston 6, so I guess I have to lose that. My heart didn't win out, and it was my head had Golden State in 7, so I'm sticking with that. I think Boston comes back and wins this one, and I am very similar to Crash. I'm going 109 to 106.
Very good. I am going to go with the closeout. I think Golden State finishes it off here on the road. I think, Boston has not been in these situations. They haven't been in a finals closeout game, not a single guy on that team.
Yeah.
Granted, the crowd's going to be going crazy, but it's not like Golden State hasn't seen that a couple dozen times, even in closeouts. So I just think Curry steps back up. I think Clay's primed. And I think I'm going to go right back to a similar type scenario here. I'm going to go 114-105 Golden State.
Ooh, okay.
So
decisive closeout.
9 points, foul shots down the end. But
right.
I think they're right now just the experienced team. And, I think Boston's going to be back if they keep, their guys intact with Tatum and Brown long term. So we'll see how it goes, but it should be a great series. And I'll tell you, it's a great DFS matchup too.
Sure.
Very, very tough calls on how to finish out lineups.
Yeah.
No question about it.
For sure. Yeah. If I was, if it's just in a vacuum, it's one single game and I was to bet on this, if I was betting money, I would bet on Golden State to win, but I got to go with my original prediction of Golden State in 7. So that's why I'm going with Boston.
Okay. All right. And you turned on the Miami Heat way back when, does it work in this one too?
We'll see.
We will see. Any final words on your side, Deb?
No, I want to see a game 7. So let's go Boston.
Yeah, I'd love to see Game 7 myself. No doubt.
I would be sad that we're not going to get back together again, the 3 of us.
Yeah, this could be the end. Yeah.
The end of it's been great though. Yeah.
It has been fun, and hopefully we've helped some people win some money. Big shout out to our man Have Faith there. He had part of that takedown. So
that was great.
Yeah, fantastic. Nice to see a first place, with split it up, but it was still a nice chunk of change.
Sweet. Yeah.
What was it, like 6K?
Yeah, it was over 6,000.
Yeah, over 6,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get some more of these Coach Talk members in that winner's circle.
Do it.
And we'll definitely shout them out. So, all right, my friends, appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us again. On the way out, hit that thumbs up. Definitely give us a subscribe and hit the alert button. Also, thank you to Prizepicks for being our presenting sponsor. Go to prizepicks.com, sign up for the first time, and use that promo code CoachTalk, and they will match you dollar for dollar up to $100. So have a terrific day. Enjoy this Game 6. It's been a great NBA season, and hopefully we're back again to crush it with you for a Game 7. So have a great day, and we will talk to you on the other side.